Hello student, again I am going to start. Chapter 2nd topic is Indian economy from your book Indian Economic Development. This is part 2. In this video we are going to discuss about goal of 5-year plan. Within that we are going to understand growth, equity, modernization, self-reliance and full employment. After that, success of planning and ultimately what is the failures of planning. Let us start it. Goal of 5-year plan. So, goal of 5-year plan is related to prospective plan, means what we want to achieve ultimately. At the time of on the eve of independence, India was a backward and stagnated economy. Okay, now we gained our independence. For independence India, the target is to convert its economy into developed economy. The economy that is stagnated, that is backward, to convert into developed economy. So to be called developed economy, to be in the stage of developed economy, we have to achieve these goals. These goals are growth, equity, modernization, self-reliance and full employment. When we are able to achieve these goals, that time we are able to become a developed economy. Okay student, so these are the ultimate thing that we want to achieve. Growth, in very simple language, it is related to increase in GDP and increase in per capita income. Okay, equity means everyone able to fulfill its basic requirement. Okay, modernization means adaptation of new technology and change social outlook, change in social outlook. Okay, and self reliance means when we are going to depend upon own self. Okay, yani we are able to produce all type of goods and services within the country. We are not going to depend upon other country. Okay, and next is full employment. Full employment means all the people who are willing and able to work, they are getting the job. That condition is known as a full employment. So we are going to discuss each of them in detail one by one. Let us start. The first is growth. In very simple language, growth is the condition in which there is consistent increase in GDP and consistent increase in per capita income. When there is continuous increase in GDP and continuous increase in per capita income, then this condition is known as a growth. Why I had written these two? If there is only increase in GDP, okay, and if per capita income is not going to be increased, then it is not growth. Why it is not growth? Suppose in your family there is suppose 5 member and your family income is suppose 1000, and the same time if your income is increased to 2000, at the same time your family member also increases to 10. In this way you can see your income has increases from 1000 to 2000, but at the same time the number of the member of your family is also has increased from 5 to 10. In this way there is no increase, no real increase in income. Okay, whatever goods and services you are able to purchase when you are earning 1000, the same basket of goods and services you are able to purchase with 2000, because number of the member has increased from 5 to 10. Yani per person availability of goods and services is going to be same, there will be no increase. Okay, so that is why when we want to when we want to explain the growth, there is the prerequisite condition is that there must be increase in GDP as well as increase in per capita income. So if there is increase in GDP, so how there will be increase in per capita income? When the increase in GDP is more than increase in the population rate. How we calculate per capita income? Total population upon national income. Okay, so that is growth. Okay, so in very simple language, in one line, if someone asks, yeah, in board examination this question will ask what is growth, so you are going to write growth is a condition in which there is consistent and regular increase in GDP and per capita income. Okay, now when the increase in the standard definition of this growth, when the increase in the flow of goods and services is consistent over a long period of time, it is called economic growth. So you can write this one, otherwise you can write in simple way also कि growth means increase in per capita income as well as increase in GDP. Okay, now how it is possible? So increase in per capita income implies that the growth rate of GDP should be higher than the population growth. Okay, when your income in increasing from 1000 to 2000, so you have to ensure that your family member is not going to be double. Your income is going to be double. Now the same time your family member is not going to be double, it is going to be less than that. Suppose there is now 5 member, now member is 6 or 7, so obviously you are able to purchase more goods and services, and this is the condition of growth. So you have to ensure growth is only possible when there is increase in GDP, and our growth rate of GDP must be greater to growth of population. Okay, now what happened, how increase in GDP is going to affect our economy? So when there is increase in GDP, so in result there will be increase in per capita income. We have to satisfy this condition. Okay, when there is increase in GDP, result if there is increase in per capita income, it's mean that increase in availability of goods and services. Okay, and its result what will be is its impact. This would ensure an improvement in the standard of living of the people, and in this way our economy is going to be get benefit from this growth. So this is the first target of our planning. Okay, our planning commission have the first goal, our first target is growth. So we have to achieve the first target, higher growth rate. Higher growth rate means increase in GDP as well as increase in per capita income. When there is increase in per capita income, there will be more availability of goods and services, and more availability of goods and services means standard of living of people is going to be more better. Okay, now the second, equity. It is also known as a equitable distribution. What is equity? Equity means not going, equity means not that ki every people is going to be get equal national income. No, equity means as you are doing the work, as you are contributing, in the same proportion you are going to gain the national income. Okay, so what is the meaning of equity? Every Indian should be able to meet his or her basic need. What are the basic needs? Food, house, education and health care. These are known as a basic need. When every Indian is capable to fulfill these basic needs herself, yeah, himself, then this condition is known as a equity. So I think its definition is very easy. What is equity? Equity is that condition in which every Indian should be able to meet his or her basic need, and inequality in the distribution of wealth should be reduced. Obviously when there will be equitable distribution of, there will be equitable distribution of NI. Okay, when everyone in this country is able to fulfill its own requirement, it's mean there is equitable distribution of NI. Okay, in the very simple manner, there is not going to be people under the BPL. Everyone is above the poverty line. That condition is known as a equitable distribution of national income. Okay, so why we want to get this condition of equity, state of equity? Because it increases the standard of living of all the people and promote development with social justice. Remember that we opted mixed economy, we not going to opt capitalistic economy. I had told you na in introduction that when we gained our independence, so there are two questions before our government: which economic system we are going to adopt. This is the first condition, first question. So there are three type of economic system: capitalistic, socialistic and mixed economy. So we adopted mixed economy. Why? Because most of the people are majority of the people are very poor. Okay, they are absolutely poor, severe condition of poorness in our country. So that's why we adopted our government adopted mixed economy. So why we adopted a mixed economy? Because we want to get social welfare, we want to increase the social welfare, we want to give social justice to all the citizen of this country. That is why mixed economy means what? Growth with social justice. I had told you now the same is here. Equity, we are having this second goal. Why? Because we want that the life of every people is going to be smoother. Okay, everyone is able to get enjoy a good life, and it's mean there will be the condition of development with social justice. This will be the condition of development with social justice. Okay, and it is related to how we are going to get this condition. It is related to upliftment of the poor and backward section of our society. So for this means development with social justice, what we have to do? We have to do that our poor people and backward section of the society is going to be better life, they are going to gain better life, they are going to have a good job, good salary. Okay, and they are going to they are able to fulfill their basic requirement themselves. So this condition is known as a equity. So I think you are able to understand equity means what? When each and every people of this country is able to fulfill its basic requirement. And what are the basic requirement? Food, house, education and health. When everyone is able to fulfill these himself or herself, this condition is known as a equity. But sorry to say, but still we are not able to get this condition. In COVID-19 effect, you can see thousands of labor, daily wage earner, they are moving from one state to another state in very what word I use, very miserable condition. Okay, you can see every day some are die because of hunger, because they are not getting proper food, not getting proper care. So still we are not able to get this equity. Okay, this the condition of equity still we had not able to get. Okay, so our government have to do lot of work for getting this condition equity. Everyone is able to get that much money, that they are able to fulfill their basic requirement themselves. They are not going to depend upon government. Means there is not direct participation of the government for roadways buses, for primary school, for the city hospitals, for medical hospital, for PGI, for railway, for metro. Okay, everyone when they are getting, everyone is getting this much salary na, कि they are able to fulfill their requirement at market price. This condition is known as a equity, and for this we have to work lot. Our government have to work a lot for that. Okay, why? Because there is too much unequitable distribution of NI. Only few people are enjoying a luxurious life, and majority of the people are still suffering. Okay, so we are fail actually. So equity, this is our target, we want to achieve it. Okay, now next, third target was is modernization. What is modernization? Name it's clear. Modern means when we are going to update. Okay, when we are going to update own self, that is the condition of modernization. And what is its standard definition? So modernization means it refers to updation and adoption of new technology. Okay, when we are going to adopt new technology, adaptation of new technology is known as a modernization. And a change in social outlook. So modernization is related to two things. First, adaptation of new technology in the field of production, and second, change in social outlook. Okay, adaptation of new technology. Why we want to adopt new technology? Because with the help of the new technology, we can increase our GDP. We can increase our GDP, and when there will be increase in our GDP, there will be increase in per capita income, and when there is increase in per capita income, there will be improvement in standard of living of the people. So that is why we want to modernize our primary sector, tertiary sector, manufacturing sector. For this I can give you one example: HYV technology. Okay, in this chapter we are going to learn it in detail it. Okay, before on the eve of independence, our agriculture sector was too much backward and too much stagnated. Okay, people are not able to produce this much wheat and rice that they are able to fulfill their family requirement. Okay, in till the 1960 we are dependent on America for wheat. Okay, so that is the condition was our economy. So when we adopted HYV technology, so we become self reliant in the field of food grain. Okay, so this is the result of what? Modernization. When we modernize our agriculture sector way of farming, we started to use pesticides, insecticides, fertilizer, we started to use irrigation facility for water. Then our production increases not one or two times, actually 6 times average. It is the average 6 times more we are able to do the production, and result is that ki we are able to produce not according to our need but more than that, and result is that ki we are able to maintain buffer stock. I had told you in the last chapter of microeconomics about the buffer stock. So our economy is able to maintain buffer stock with the help of this HYV technology. So that is the result of modernization. So modernization is very important, okay, for GDP, for increase in GDP. Next, change in social outlook. Why it is also very important? Social change in social outlook means whatever traditional value we are having, we are living, that we have to give up, because with the passes of the time many things are changed. Okay, like today we are giving similar importance to women also. They are free to do the job, okay, in every field, in teaching, in nursing, they are doing the work of engineering, they are in aviation sector. So this is the change in social outlook. Before independent India, there is no freedom for women's. You had learned now, there is only literacy rate is only 7%, women literacy rate is only 7%, but today there is too much change. So change in social outlook is also very important, that like women empowerment, gender empowerment, okay, providing equal right to women's, okay. And majority of developed economy you can see the women participation is too much. Okay, in the backward economy, when you go underdeveloped economy, there is not active participation of women. So when women are actively participating in production, in process of production, it's mean the economy is started to develop, there is going to be a structural change. So that is also very important. So modernization is related to two things: adaptation of new technology and change in social outlook. Both are very important. Adaptation of new technology is important for increase in GDP, and change in social outlook is very important for total change, okay, for total growth of the society. Okay, next is self reliance. Reliance means what? Dependent, self dependent. When we are going to self dependent, that is the condition of self reliance. So what is the meaning of self reliance? Self reliance implies avoiding dependence on import of those goods which could be produced in country itself. This is the standard meaning of self reliance. Okay, in very easy language, self reliance means when we are going to depend upon own self. Okay, when we are able to produce all goods and services within the country, that is the condition of self reliance. Okay, why we want to get the condition of self reliance? So there are two reasons. First is to reduce foreign dependence, especially for food. Okay, I had told you now before the introduction of HIV technology, we are dependent upon other country for our food requirement. Like for wheat, we are dependent upon like a country America, that is a capitalistic economy. Okay, and the majority of the people are engaged in the production of in the manufacturing sector and in tertiary sector. And our economy, where 75% people are engaged in primary sector, but they are not able to produce this much food grain that they are able to fulfill the requirement of the nation. And we are going to import it from where? From America, where only 3 4 5% people are engaged in primary sector. So this is the condition of our economy. So our fourth target is self reliance, especially to get the self reliance condition, especially in the food grain. Okay, and second, to avoid foreign intervention. Obviously, if we are going to depend upon other for our need, so obviously that country is going to dominate. Like you can see Pakistan, China assist him, give economical assistance. So obviously when Pakistan is going to formulate policy, so there will be indirectly intervention of China. Okay, so whenever we are going to depend upon other, so that people is going to be take advantage of it. So that is why if you are self dependent, you are free to formulate the policy of your own country. So that is very important for the freedom, to maintain our freedom. Okay, next is full employment. What is full employment? Full employment is a condition when all the people who are willing and able, they are getting the job. That is the condition of full employment. Okay, it's a standard meaning. It refers to situation when all the people who are willing and able to work at a given wage rate are getting work. This is known as a full employment. Okay, why we want to achieve the target of full employment? So for inclusive growth, how we can achieve the target of full employment? With the help of the inclusive growth. What is inclusive growth? When we are producing more goods and services with more job opportunity, that is known as a inclusive growth. If suppose there is more production of goods and services, but with the help of the capital intensive technology or with the help of the machines, it's mean there will be less job opportunity, and that is not good for our economy or for any economy. Okay, there will be the problem of social unrest. Why? Because people are not getting the job. Richer section is becoming more richer because they are using machines for production, and poor section, they are going to be more poor, they are going to be more exploited by the richer section, and that is the condition of our economy is still. Okay, so we are not able to achieve the full employment, but our target, our goal is that to achieve full employment, the condition of full employment. And how we can achieve this condition? With the help of the inclusive growth. Inclusive growth means we are going to use labor intensive technique. Okay, yani more production of more goods and services with labor intensive technology. Okay, so then we are able to achieve this goal. What will be the benefit when we achieve inclusive growth? When we are doing inclusive growth, so what will be its benefit? Benefit will be that the benefit of growth must be shared across wider section of the society. Yani most of the people of the nation is going to be get benefit from this growth. So first target is growth, but that growth must be inclusive growth, not exclusive growth. Remember that. So that is our fifth goal. Okay, one more thing. Full employment never means zero unemployment. Remember this. This is very important. And when you learn macroeconomics, now when you read macroeconomics, so the in the ADAS chapter we are going to learn it properly and in detail. But here, what is the G, what is the meaning of this statement? Full employment does not mean a situation of zero unemployment. Okay, like you, take the example of you, according to our constitution, anyone who is above the age of 14 year and till the age of 60, they are free to do the job, to do the to render their service. But you are having result of 10th class, 11th class, you are crossed the age of 14 year, but you are not doing the job. Why? Because you don't want to do the job. You are voluntary unemployment. Okay, so this voluntary unemployment remains every time, and this is not calculated when we are calculating the number of unemployed person. Okay, student. So all the students, okay, who are getting higher education, actually they are free to do the job according to our constitution, because they are above the age of 14 year, but they want to achieve good in their life, they want to achieve a higher and skilled knowledge. That's why they are voluntary, यानी जानबूझकर वो क्या है, unemployed है. So this condition always exists. That is why full employment does not mean a situation of zero unemployment. Okay, now next topic is achievement of planning. We adopted 5-year plan. Okay, we set up for that planning commission, they construct 5-year plan, and we have a period of 5-year plan, and the last 5-year plan is 12th 5-year plan. After that there is Niti Aayog. They formulate policies for for achieving these goals. Okay, so what are the achievement of these planning, we are going to discuss here. First, increase in national income. So in the first chapter I had told you the growth rate of national income was less than 2%. But you can see here in the first plan it is 4.6, and in the 12th plan it is 6.8. So you can understand that there is increase in national income, there is increase in the growth rate of national income. Okay, an increase in national income, what it indicates? It indicates economic growth, and that is our first target. Okay, next, increase in per capita income. I had told you now, growth means there must be increase in GDP, and there must be increase in per capita income. So in the first slide I had told you there is continuous increase in our GDP, growth rate of our national income. Before the independent, on the eve of during the British rule, it is less than 2%, but in 12th plan we are able to achieve 6.8. Our growth rate is 6.8, and continuously you can see up and downs, but obviously it is more than 2%. Okay, so in this way we are able to achieve this target, consistent increase in growth rate. Okay, now same way, increase in per capita income. So in the first 5-year plan, our growth rate of per capita income is only 2.7, but in 12th it is 5.5. So increase in per capita income is a significant achievement, and what it reflect greater availability of goods and services per person. It's still that standard of living of Indian people is continuously rising. More people are able to enjoy a better life. Okay, so this is our next achievement. Now next, social infrastructure. So with the help of these planning 5-year plans, with the help of these 12th 5-year plan, we are able to facilitate social infrastructure. First of all, what is the meaning of social infrastructure? So social infrastructure means health, availability of health and education facility. Social infrastructure means availability of health and education facility. Okay, and here is also recorded significance rise over the time. In the first chapter I had told you that death rate is 40 per thousand, but in this here you can see 6.3. Death rate has come down to 6.3 per thousand in 2017, and that is 27 per thousand in 1951. So here you can see these social development indicator explain that there is more better health facility system is available. Okay, average life. So till 1951 average life is what, 32 years, but now in 2018 what is our expected life? 69.4 year. So obviously there is tremendous increase. You can see 32 is the average life at the time of 1951, and in 2019 it is 69.4. And in education system, obviously there is many time, 3-4 time increase in education sector. Okay, now next is economic infrastructure. So what is economic infrastructure? Economic infrastructure is basically related to transport, communication, irrigation facility, power generation capacity, banking, insurance facility. Okay, these are known as a economic infrastructure. Okay, in very simple language, economic infrastructure is related to power, transportation and service sector. Okay, here also we can see that during planning economic infrastructure has recorded a significant growth. Okay, here you can see power generation in 1950 to 51 it is 2300 MV, but in 2019 it is 3,56,880. So you can see there is a significant growth. Okay, and in IT sector, we are at the first position. We are at the first position in IT sector. So this is our great achievement. Okay, next is rise in saving and investment. So during the 5-year plans there has been increase in the rate of saving and investment also. Here you can see in 1951 our rate of investment is 9.3, but in 2017 to 18 it is 32.3. So here you can also see there is a significant growth. Okay, now next is international trade. Okay, so here we can also see that the value and volume both has increased. Okay, volume means type of goods and services and value means amount. Okay, so here we can see that in 1948 to 49 the value of foreign trade was rupees 792 crore. Okay, and 18 to 19 it is 59,02,036 crore. So there is too much increase. Okay, so in this way we can see there is too much increase in the value of foreign trade. Now volume of foreign trade. So volume is related to types, which type of goods we are going to trade. So composition of export and import has significant changed. Okay, now we are exporting. Before the planning we are exporter of raw material and importer of finished good, but now what happened, we are, the change in the composition is significant, marked in the area of export. Okay, and we are the exporter of engineering goods. Now we are exporter of what? Engineering good. Before the prior the planning period, we are the exporter of raw material, but now we are the exporter of engineering goods. Okay, so there is also change. Now next topic is failure of planning. So first is abject poverty. Still in our country, 21.9% people are living under the below poverty line. Okay, and that is the biggest failure of our planning period. Okay, amazing. Nearly 50% of those who are absolutely poor in the world, and they are living in India. So you can understand what was the condition of this poverty is still. Okay, now next is high rate of inflation. So I had told you कि growth implies that there should be increase in growth, means increase in GDP plus per capita income. And how there will be increase in per capita income? When this will be greater to population growth rate. But in India, the government never thinks about the control of population growth, and result is that कि our demand is increasing day by day, but at the same time we are not able to produce goods and services in the same proportion, and ultimate result is that we are facing the problem of inflation. Okay, now next is unemployment crisis. So I had told you कि our first target is growth, means there should be increase in GDP, there should be increase in per capita income. Okay, and when there is increase in per capita income, means more people, majority of the people are able to live a better life. For that we are required to fulfill the target of full employment. Full employment means what? We are going to achieve which type of growth? Inclusive growth. Inclusive growth means we are going to increase production with the help of the labor, not with the help of the machines. Okay, but in India there is exclusive growth, there is jobless growth, and that is why we are facing unemployment crisis. Okay, here you can see 53 at the end of the first plan, 53 lakh person were unemployment. This number rose to 4 crore at the end of the 11th plan, and in March 2016 registered unemployment increased to 4.35 crore. And obviously this is very ridiculous problem in this country. Okay, number of the unemployed people are day by day increasing, and the government is not able to address this problem, and this is going to give birth to other social problem. So obviously the government have to ensure that most of the production unit is going to use labor intensive technique. Only then there will be job opportunity. Okay student, next is inadequate infrastructure. Obviously we had still learner, there is too much increase in social infrastructure, there is too much increase in economic infrastructure, but our population is 121 crore. According to that, this development is not sufficient. Okay, this economic and social development is not according to our population. So it is inadequate infrastructure. We are facing the problem of inadequate infrastructure. Okay, so development of infrastructure continue to be inadequate despite 67 years of planning. Okay, actual growth has failed to match the target of the growth, and particularly shortage of power has been a serious constraint in the overall process of growth and development. Power means electricity. Okay student, okay, next is skewed distribution. It is related to uneven distribution of Ni. It is related to uneven distribution of Ni. Okay, here you can see also कि prosperity is with few people and poverty is among majority of the people, and that is the problem of our country. Okay, in this COVID-19 period you can see, okay, labor daily wage earner, they are 1,000,000 people are compelled to travel on the road. Okay, and there are too much death because of this problem. So why we are facing this problem? Because of we are not able to attain equitable distribution. We are having this target that we are going to attain the state of equitable distribution. We are going to have equitable distribution, but we are not able to do that. Okay, and that is why we are facing this problem. Here you can see economic and social equality was considered as a principal goal of the planning. But ironically, this has been principal failure of the planning in India. Widening economic and social inequality has compelled the government to offer reservation in the job to the economically and social weaker section of the society. Okay, so still we are not able to gain the condition of equity. Okay, this is our target, but we are not able to achieve this condition, and until we are not able to achieve this target, this condition we have to face. Some people are few people are continuously they are becoming prosper, and majority of the people are poor. So we have to ensure, government have to ensure that there will be equitable distribution of Ni. Okay, thank you, student.